Okay, what's up, y'all? Today I got a little bit of an interesting video called, how to make a living as a league coach. Kind of what I did, my 3-step plan. So this video actually came because somebody asked me in chat while I was streaming, twitch.tv/JSMethod, by the way. And they're like, yo, that's a good video idea. Like, how do you be a league coach? I'm like, it doesn't make a lot of sense because like not that applicable to a lot of people, but it's kind of an interesting topic. So we'll just go through it. I don't think it's that applicable to many people, but I think it's interesting and entertaining. So how to be a league coach, my 3-step plan. All right. So the very first thing and the fundamentals to starting any business, right? If you're starting, like let's get the mind right. If you're starting to be a league coach, you have to view it as a business. You have a service that you're trying to provide to people, right? So just like any business, like any monetary transaction, it's built on perceived value. So you have to have something that some group of people, your target audience, perceives as valuable or sees as good, right? And if they see it as good, well, then you can take the demand and you can take how much they perceive the value is and kind of decide your pricing from there, right? How much your time is worth. So for like a very beginning league coach who, doesn't have a lot of coaching experience, maybe isn't like the best in anything, doesn't have a huge audience, you're just trying to do something on the side as a little side business, you may decide your time's worth very little. You may charge, $10, $15 per VOD review, right? And then you have somebody on the complete opposite spectrum, which is Nice, where Nice has a bunch of people, insane demand, insane experience, very good results, and has very good marketing. And it's like, well, his perceived value is so incredibly high. He's making $150, $200 an hour. So perceived value is what we're based on. So now the question is, well, what's valuable in a league coach? What are you actually giving away? So for a league coach, things that people perceive as valuable is having a high rank, having good coaching experience, having competitive experience on some sort of competitive team, right? Whether you played amateur or professional or collegiate, having a background in sports psychology. So you're a good teacher, being able to interface with humans well. Like that's something that, there's a lot of different types of coaches. There's a lot of different coaches that kind of resonate well with other people. There's a lot of different types of coaches that resonate with different people, right? Somebody might respond worse to me, but better to one of my peers, or they might respond a lot better to me than the rest of my peers, just because of like how psychology works and how temperament goes into coaching. So there's a lot of things that, like psychology and learning experience and being able to interface with humans, all of that kind of stuff goes into how much your coaching is perceived, right? So some of my things that make my coaching valuable, and one of the reasons why not only I believe I'm one of the best coaches in the league scene and that I can, be the most value to you, right? Because you have to believe, if you're going to be a coach, you got to believe that. If I didn't believe I was your best option, I would not coach. I would do something else with my time. I would go be an engineer. I would go to school. But I think that I have so much to teach, not only within the game, but I have so much to teach you in life through the game that I think I'm your best option, right? I really believe that. And there are other people who, my target audience, as long as they believe that and see me as one of the, a flawless league coach, which I'm not, right? But as long as they see me as that, then that's going to be what, why I'm getting paid and why I'm getting business. So some of the things that I have going for me that increase kind of my authenticity and kind of increase my perceived value is, I've done things people wanted to do. I went from gold to masters in about a year, right? From gold all the way up to masters, right? If I can go from gold to masters in a year, you can too, right? I'm a good teacher with experience and results. Down here, you can see these are just a bunch of like things people have said about my coaching after getting a lesson. Like, yo, I was bronze 3 a couple months ago. It's going great. Yo, focused on what you were talking about and I just pissed stomped this game. Yo, really enjoyed our coaching. That kind of thing. I have experience and I have a track record and I can show you that like a bunch of other people benefited from what I've given them in a way that they wanted to benefit from it. And I can do that for you too, right? So, that's another thing about league coaches, which I kind of have an issue with. There's nothing to really like test a league coach, right? The league ladder, like solo queue will test how good you are at League of Legends. So like if you're challenger in league, you're like one of the best league players in the world. But there's nothing to test how good of a league coach you are. So oftentimes what people go off of is off of how somebody sounds. and then off of kind of their experience and results. And it's really kind of unfortunate because a lot of league coaches sound like they know what they're talking about, but they actually don't. Or a lot of underqualified people will find ways to talk in a way that makes it seem like they know what they're talking about. It's like, no, you don't. You're a fucking silver player who's played 2 games of ranked in your life. You don't know anything about the game. You don't know how it feels, right? So I kind of have an issue with the league coaching scene in that there's no like rigorous trials for them, right? And even when you look at the experience of coaches, oftentimes coaches have the tendency to like take the good things and show the good things, be like, look at what I did for these guys, and they completely hide the bad experiences, or the experience where somebody gets a lesson and they don't improve, or experience where somebody gets a lesson and actually complicates the game and they actually get worse, right? Because that kind of thing happens. And it happens all the time. It happens with some of the biggest coaches we know, like Coach Curtis and Nice, and even me, right? Like, obviously. But those are harder to bring up for a couple of reasons. One, they don't send me DMs, right? They don't send me DMs like, yo, I got a lesson. F you, you're the worst. I've never gotten that DM. I have coached people that haven't moved, right? Sometimes that happens, but I've never gotten a DM like, yo, man, where I get lots of DMs from people DMing me and be like, yo, dude, I really applied what you said. It was awesome. And then it's hard to also tell what was the coach's fault and what was the student's fault, because the climb is always on the student. The climb is always on the student. A coach is very much just a facilitator, or somebody to try to make it as efficient as possible, or somebody to make sure that it's sustainable. Sometimes I'll give somebody a lesson and they're like a really motivated person, and they'll just take it and run with it. And they'll just go up like so much LP and so many ranks. They'll be like, yo, JS, you're awesome. I can't believe you did that for me. You're the best. I couldn't have done it without you. And I'm like, well, hold up. Most of that was you. I just helped you had the blocks. You built the blocks. I just tried to put them in place for you and connected them. So it's really hard to tell what a good coach is or what a bad coach is. So your job, if you're trying to be a good coach, is do everything you can to make sure people understand you are a good coach. And what I do through that is I stream all the lessons I'm allowed to. I'm incredibly transparent with everything I do. I constantly make educational content. I stream my solo queue climb so you can see me applying the concepts I talk about. So you can see what I did to go from gold to masters in 1 year. I do all these things to try to make it as transparent and open as possible so people can see, right? A lot of coaches don't do that. But I genuinely believe I have a lot of value to provide in this game, and I genuinely think it works. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. So that's step 1. Have something of value. Be the best at your champion. Be really high ranked. Think you have a lot to teach, and then prove it. Prove it to yourself. Prove it to everybody around you that you have lots to teach, right? So that's step 1. Now, believe it or not, that's the easy part. Hitting masters and then showing that you can climb and then like telling people that you're good at teaching, that's the easy part by far. I think 90% of this job is marketing. Now, marketing literally just means getting your face in front of other faces, right? Getting you in front of as many people as possible. So, especially because League is incredibly competitive and it's a hobby where like everybody plays League, but a very tiny, minuscule fraction of people are getting paid from League. So it's like League is one of the most incredibly competitive domains to try to get a job in the world. So it's so incredibly hard. The way that you have to make a difference, or the way that you have to be unique and be different from everybody else, is to just get in front of people's faces. And to get in front of people's faces, you have to be unique. And there's a bunch of ways to do it. So what I did and how I got started was through content creation. I streamed on Twitch ever since I was a gold player. All the way from gold to masters, I streamed on Twitch. So when I hit diamond and I started to dip my toes into coaching, I had people from my Twitch and my Discord community that were interested in trying it. And we tried it, and that's really where I started. So huge shout out to my Twitch community. You guys got me started and kept me going and are why I have an opportunity to make money doing something that I love so much, right? But there are other ways that I bring in people. So like being very good at a champion, rank 1 at a champion, right? I was rank 1 Annie for a long time. And you can see here, I have the picture. A lot of people still come to my stream and stuff because they see that I'm high on the highest ranked Annies. They're like, oh, sweet, I want to learn Annie from this content creator, right? That's a good way. Lots of pro players are famous because they actually complete 2 of the steps through being a pro player. Not only do they prove that they know what they're talking about because they literally play the game at a professional level, but also their marketing is usually solved for them because the places they've played for and their the stuff like it's so much easier to market yourself as a pro player, right? Because everybody wants to watch you because you're so incredibly good. So being a pro player, like a perfect example, winning tournaments and having lots of things. Like we talked about Five Fire. Five Fire is a really good amateur player, not necessarily a professional player. He's never played LCS, but he's won pretty much everything you can in NA without being in the LCS. And now he makes quite a bit of money coaching, right? So winning tournaments, being a pro player, being ranked 1 on the champion, being very high on the ranked ladder, beating other professional players and then putting that on YouTube. Like those are all good ways to market. Content creation, streaming, creating YouTube videos, TikToks. One of my favorite TikTokers, I guess I'll stay away from names, but my favorite league TikToker, like he makes a lot of TikToks and he started streaming and he gets like 50, 75, 100 viewers concurrent. And that's all from his TikTok, right? And if you can get that many TikTok viewers and that many Twitch concurrent viewers, you can have a coaching business the second you want it. Now, maybe you can't coach League because you don't have step 1 finished for League, but you can definitely coach something else like how to grow on TikTok and how to grow on Twitch and how to grow, right? So marketing is definitely the hardest part and most competitive part. It really comes down to like finding out how to grow and how to grow on all these platforms, Twitter, all of that stuff, and then finding other ways to just get exposed. There's so many league players, and it's not just restricted to your location. That's one of the beautiful parts about an online business. You get to market to everybody. I've coached Europeans, I've coached NA, I've coached people from all different regions within NA, I've coached people from the East, I've coached Koreans. Like, it's crazy to me that that's possible. I've coached people from Australia, people from New Zealand. Absolutely insane to me, but that's the power of this. You just have to get in front of their faces and prove to them that you belong in their face, right? I belong in your face, right? That's what you have to convince yourself and the people around you. So marketing is definitely the hardest part. But yeah, the last part, and this part sucks. This is the most uncomfortable part about trying to get a job in League. You have to get kind of lucky. Now, fortunately, I get lucky all of the time. So much of what's happened to me has been so incredibly lucky. Some things more lucky than other things. And this is just the pure nature of any content creation or any kind of like rare opportunity job. Any highly competitive job is going to require some sort of luck. So examples of me getting lucky, the most recent example has been on my TikTok. I had one TikTok just randomly get 200,000 views for kind of no reason. I did nothing different, and my TikToks are very low quality. I literally just rip clips from my YouTube and throw them on TikTok, and one of them just got 200K, and boom, look at my followers. This is daily follower growth. You can see my normal day, I gain like 5, 10, 15, right? 4, somewhere in there. But over these next 3 days, over the time this video was blowing up, all of a sudden, boom, my TikTok's huge. Well, now my Twitch has a bunch of people from my TikTok being like, yo, what's up? I'm from your TikTok. Now those people are in my Discord. Now they're joining the JS Academy. Now they're getting coaching, right? Like that's really lucky. And there's nothing I wasn't responsible for that outcome. I mean, I helped facilitate it by posting daily and trying my hardest. Yes, but like I did nothing realistically. So that's really lucky. And I'm really grateful for that, right? Another thing, the biggest luck that I had in my entire career was getting picked up by Nice to help in his boot camp. And then so I started to help in his boot camp, and then that went into me coaching for him, and then that went into me coaching on my own even more because I got exposed and I built a lot of authenticity and authority, and my value went up quite a bunch just because Nice helped me, right? When Nice was starting his boot camps, this is a tweet you can see from July 24th, 2021. He was like, yo, we're in the boot camp. I need help from high elo players. At the time, I was D1. I didn't even hit masters yet. Like, this is how this was. I was like, yo, let me help. And I helped, and boom, now I'm where I'm at. I coach, I coach in all of Nice's boot camps. I'm going to be coaching the next one. Like, absolutely insane stroke of luck that happened to me. And then the JS Academy, of course, I just want to give a shout out to these guys. It's phenomenal that y'all are, allowing me to have the opportunity to do what I love to do and to teach life lessons through League to a group and to do it in this group setting. I think this is amazing. So I've gotten incredibly lucky so many times. And, it's hard to remember that because there will be weeks and months where I'll just be creating content. And even in this YouTube challenge where I've been creating daily YouTube videos, we're getting close to this is my 30th daily YouTube video in a row. And these videos are hard. They require scripts and they require 20 minutes of recording and editing and all this shit. And it kind of sucks because it's like every video is just getting 50 views and it's like nobody's watching it. But that just goes to show that is what this game is like. If you're going to really be a League coach, you're going to have, or if you're going to be even a content creator, there's going to be moments where you're not seeing growth. And then there's going to be moments where it's like, boom, you got incredibly lucky for zero reason, right? All you can do is put your heart into it, have the best input you can, do everything that you can possibly afford to do, and put everything on the table. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but at least you can say that you tried your hardest at something, and you gave it a shot, right? That's my biggest fear, is looking back at my life when I'm 40 and being like, man, I had an opportunity to fulfill my childhood dreams and play League of Legends as a job. I will be damned if I look back and say that. If anything, I'm going to look back when I'm 40 and say, you know what? I tried it. It didn't scale how I wanted to. It wasn't sustainable and I had to work too hard and didn't get paid enough. So I had to stop. I'd much rather say that and say I put it all on the table, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to put it all on the table and hope that I get lucky, right? I'm trying to make as many YouTube videos as I can, as high quality as I can, and hope I get lucky. And I'm trying to create daily or even bi-daily, twice a day TikToks and hope I get lucky again, right? That's what this game is all about. Facilitating, preparing as much as possible for that opportunity, and then when it's giving to you, taking it and running with it. That's really what I'm trying to do. So today's video was a little bit more interesting. It was kind of just a gimmicky, this is kind of how you be a coach. I don't think it's actually that applicable, but it is really interesting. And there are some interesting lessons in this video, I think, especially that apply to kind of philosophy and trying to do something hard and unlikely. But I really enjoyed making the video. I appreciate the idea, the video recommendation. If you have any other ideas for videos that you'd like to see me make, drop them in the comments. I appreciate y'all watching today's video. I'll see you around. Have a blessed night. Peace.